Hello everyone, my name is Pilk Milk and today I'm going to be fixing a loose piece on a figure. Now the figure in question is this Baki Hanma from Storm Collectibles. The issue that I have for this guy specifically is its head. Its head is really, oh man, it's really easy for it to come off or on. Yeah, it's really loose when it comes to it just being placed. Any like minor movement that you do immediately makes it come off. So like even if you have it moving this way, that way, it immediately comes off, which is an issue. Now the way that I'm going to be fixing it is by using sticky tack. Now when it comes to other figures, the amount of sticky tack you will be using kind of does depend on the socket. Now what you don't want is to use too much sticky tack to the point that it completely just rejects the ball peg. Like as you can see right here, this is already too much and it leads for this giraffe neck. But your goal is to use less than the socket, but enough for the ball peg to comfortably be inside of this thing. To be inside of the socket as it's supposed to be. Now, that much being like almost like a finger, like an index amount. Here we go once more because I placed it wrong. And you move it just to check. Does it look good, chat? I guess it does. Let's pull it back out. As you can see, it doesn't take up that much space. Oops, that's kind of hard to see. But as you can see, this little ball joint and the head socket, as you can see, maybe, I guess like this, you can see it a lot better. Now you see that there's a little indent right there where the sticky tack is at. That's exactly what you want to see, where it takes up enough space for it to just fill in what's missing. Now let's just say that your peg is, don't think this is phallic, please. Now let's just say your peg is a bit smaller than the socket. As you can see, this is a bit of an issue, since if you move like this, it comes out. You move like this, everything comes in, which is a bit of an issue. Now what you want is to add more of the sticky tack, more of the sticky tack in place for it to take up that missing space, which, as you can see now, after I put 3 fingers, it's more stuck. There's less for it to come out, there's less for it to come back in, which is exactly what you want to be applying when it comes to how much sticky tack you'll be using. In the case of this figure specifically, or this issue specifically, it doesn't really need a lot. It didn't even need the amount that you saw me put in, but it's just enough that, as you can see, it can comfortably be placed in there. It's not going to push it out or keep it out, but instead just takes up the space that it's missing, which is great. And as you can tell, this little sucker ain't coming off anymore, which is perfect. Now this is a revamp of the previous short video of this fix, but yeah, hope you enjoyed. And one last thing, this isn't a for sure fix for everything. Now when it comes to the sticky dot or sticky tack, it kind of does depend on what you're using it on. So if you're using it for something like light, in this case the head and this piece, since it's already so close for it to be perfectly fine, using sticky tack is probably exactly what you needed to add just to give it enough grip. On the other hand, if you don't have sticky tack, you could just use a paper towel, a wet paper towel, to take up that exact amount of space just for it to stay as you can see, fixed. Now the reason that I say it doesn't really matter how much you use, but that's actually not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that how much you use could really just depend on how loose the piece is, and that's very important, since like I mentioned, for this head and this joint, it just needed just a little bit more for it to get stuck together. As you saw, I didn't really need all that amount of sticky tack, and that amount of sticky tack could just be one thin sheet of paper towel, interchangeable. But when it comes to a fix like, what if this entire ball peg is missing and you want to use sticky tack, that's probably not where the sticky tack should be used, mainly because that's not going to fix anything, since this is the issue. There's no socket, all right, think of it like Legos. If there's no of that little peg, the little Lego peg, the other piece ain't sticking on. And just because you add something sticky on that doesn't for sure mean that it isn't going to slide off eventually. or even come off. Like even now with this head, if I move it frantically or even a lot, it still comes off. So again, strategically use the sticky tack for things that are light. Let's just say hand pieces like this. Very light or very small. And for socket pieces like the head or even the hands. As you can see, that's a socket. This is where the sticky tack excels in, and it's perfect to use. But when it comes to like hinge joints or something like that, that's a hinge. This this knee piece right here is a hinge joint as well. Using sticky tack isn't going to really save anybody's figure. But yeah, hopefully this was informative, and yeah, that's about it.